Hi guys, it's Tuesday and I have another layout for you. This is as a guest designer for Tupelo, and I am showing you some of the product that I'm using. Those beautiful cosmic shimmers, some of the Avery L and waffle flower. That is a Blue Fern Studio chipboard piece, which turned out gorgeous. And I had cut some of these from my silhouette, and you see I'm just painting those. I decided that green paper wasn't taking the product very well, so I thought, well, I'll just add some gesso, and I don't have regular gesso. I have heavy, and I have clear, and I have black, but I don't have regular, so I decided to try to add a little gesso to prime it, and that didn't really work on that paper either. I think it's because it is a thinner cardstock. Even though it is American Crafts, the white seems to be heavier than the colors, and so I'm not real thrilled about the colored cardstock, but I don't know, the white is fabulous. So it just doesn't take, the color doesn't take ink very well, so I decided to not use a couple of those pieces for that reason. But the Cosmic Shimmers work beautiful on that Blue Fern Studio chipboard, and I did prime it with a little bit of gesso as well. And you see I'm using my favorite tool, which is my finger. Going back with some Avery L, and I got that at the Tupelo store, and you'll see I just kind of do some layers between watercolors, the Avery L pigment ink, and the Cosmic Shimmers. And so I really like how this layout turned out. But it did take several different layers in order to give it that kind of depth that I like. And that Blue Fern Studio piece, it took very well. So that's kind of the process I did here. Okay, so here is some of my clear gesso. Again, using my favorite tool, which is my finger. So I let that dry, and I'm just trying to cover that piece of cardstock from my stash. I guess I could have spared you this part. And in order to keep it from getting too warped, I do like to dry both sides. And here I'm using the packaging technique with a little bit of water and those Cosmic Shimmers. And I really like how that turned out. I'm just dabbing it onto the sponge applicator that's inside the shimmers, adding a little water, and that blue turned out really pretty. And the green turns out really pretty. Summer sky, such a pretty blue. Fresh grass, this one is also one of my faves. I'm just building up some layers, adding a bit of watercolor look, as I like to do. I'm drying that. And this is part of Craft Market, I believe is the name of the line, and I took London's initial and cut out the L, and took some of the Cosmic Shimmers and just distressed around the edges using my fave score tape so that it lays flat. If you add score tape like every couple of inches, you can get it to lay down pretty flat, even if you've added a bunch of watercolor. So tip of the day. Making that all secure. Forgot I had cut out the center because I wanted to use a piece of that center to layer with. And that's a picture of my lovely daughter London from 2014 Instagram. Now if you look here, this is just a scrap that I had played with. I have a video tutorial showing you how I used and played with the Cosmic Shimmers with stamps and gesso and just the colors themselves. And so I took that scrap piece of paper and I cut out the hearts from it. Some are gessoed and some aren't, and so that's the color variance. And that's just one of my fave stamps that's in my stash. And then this is just a scrap of paper I had, and I thought it went really well with the color scheme that I was trying to do. And then that piece kind of turned out unusual, so I was like, ooh, I'll just put that at the top, so you'll see me kind of play with it to get it to fit in that area. Put that at the top. Now, matte medium has a tendency, like with the little fine areas, I like to use it because it's not glossy, it dries clear, you can't tell, and it will secure the smallest little things. And I had that little piece cut off on the edge, and so I thought it made a perfect little corner, and I put that up at the top and popped it up on the 3M tape that I love. Now I'm just making some layers with those scraps and putting that down. This weekend was super fun. Bab and I went to a car scene thing, which, you know, he's into the car scene, so we took his vet down to Houston and went to the races and hung out with some of his friends, and I learned a ton of stuff about cars. And there I'm just taking some tissue from a package I received, and I'll just kind of play with that and put it behind the picture. That scalloped edge that the border punch that I used is Martha Stewart, so that's just from my stash. Trimming off a little bit of the tissue, and then I'll staple that together with my tiny attacher. Anyway, I'm back. I'm kind of in the middle of making twice baked potatoes to feed Bab, and so I keep getting up to check that. But back to the layout. Taking some more of that Cosmic Shimmer, and now adding in the die cut pieces from my silhouette and that beautiful Blue Fern Studio chipboard piece that I got from Tupelo. I had used some of the Cosmic Shimmer on the word this that I just had cut out. I'll do a bunch of cutouts and I'll put them in a bag, and then I'll just pull from them as I need them, or if I, color one, I don't end up using it, I'll just stick it in the bag for easy access. And I did glue gun some of these pieces down, and then I go back. I couldn't get my regular Scotch dry to adhere because it's on that gesso, and I end up going back with glossy accents because I just could not get it to stick, even though I'm weighing it down with all these other products. You'll see me go back and glue them again. There we go, there's my glossy accents. And so if you need a tip on how to not clog that, I went through a couple of bottles and I kept ripping off the needle and it got clogged, and finally I just kept the needle off, and I haven't had a clog issue since. So I just gave up on the little needle part, and it was flowing, and that seems to be the ticket. Just swing it down so it'll stay. And then these little thickers were from my stash, and that will be the title of my page, This Girl. And of course I glue those down in addition because they don't want to stick either. The sequins were from my stash, and so is that flare button. And you'll see me take some just regular little thread that I have. I always have a tendency to make it too big to go around my flare badges, but it's easy enough to reshape and make smaller, and that's what I did here. This layout was pretty quick considering, the most I had to do was the drying time when I was making the background, but other than that it went really quick. This stamp set is also from Tupelo, and it's waffle flower, and I just love it. It's called Beautiful, B-O-W. And I'll have descriptions and links down in my description bar below, so if you need to find any of these products, that will take you straight to them. And that little heart stamp was in there. I just wanted to add a little touch of black so that the word girl wasn't the only thing black. But I was kind of stamping on an uneven surface, so I go back in and just outline the hearts so that they're more solid. This Speedball ink is one of my faves. I love the Speedball inks, and they're permanent. I really like the opacity, and so I just use that to add a little bit of splatters, and that will finish it up. So I hope you enjoyed this layout. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I know I did. Got to spend lots of fun time with Bab, lots of laughs, and got to make a great layout to share with you. So all in all, it was fabulous, and I hope yours was too. I do have a new planner channel, and it will be Planning with True Lane. I'm going to have a I should have a haul set up for that, the first video, and that will be coming this week. So I would love for you to join me over there and check it out. If not, I'm just glad you were here with me today. So I will talk to you later. But ta-ta for now. Bye.